What's up, everybody? I told you all it was going to be a little bit different around here. You all didn't believe me, so I wasn't lying to y'all.
I was hopeful. What is it like having Russell here? What are your first impressions of Russell? And I think you were in San Diego, right, at that party?
Yeah, he's a great leader. I love Russ. I love his determination. I love his focus. I love his mental. I love everything. You know, you talk about some of the greatest athletes, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, those type of mentalities that those athletes have. That's what he has. He's just so focused all the time, ready to rock and roll, and it's what we needed here. He brings in he's just so positive all the time, just a lovable guy, and you just want to play your heart out for him.
One of his trademarks is off-schedule plays, out of the pocket. Do you sort of have to train yourself a little differently to hold those blocks and stay in your spot, or will that be a big difference?
Man, I just got blocked my guy, to be honest. My job is to protect him at all aspects. If I just play my game, I think it fits really good to what type of player he is. I know everyone says he drops real deep and he does all these things, but really, I think our offense is fits for me, not just me, for everybody up front. I think it's just our job is to create the width so that he's safe back there, and our job is to keep him as fresh as possible. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that jersey is as clean as possible.
What specifically did you guys work on out in San Diego that is going to help you do your job protecting for him?
I think just understanding him. We've had great conversations. I've talked to him multiple times. We text each other all the time, send little video chats to each other all the time. He's a FaceTime guy, so, anytime he has a question, he's going to FaceTime you or send you a video or do something like that, which is pretty cool. But he's, like I said, he's just, his mindset, I think, just picking his brain apart. I sent him a message saying, what do you want in the left tackle? And so we talk like that. So I got to understand what he wants and what his expectation is, and it's up to me to provide those for him.
Garett, what does he want in a left tackle?
Those things I'm going to keep a lot to me, just because that's just our communication, but just what a left tackle needs to be. He wants me to be a leader. He wants me to lead up front. He doesn't want me to take charge. Wants me to do whatever I can, communicate, down the distance, things like that. But really, if I just, like I said, he loves me. He loves how I play football. There's probably a couple of things I need to change, which I'm willing to do that. But like I said, man, we have a great relationship, and I'm really looking forward to the future.
Garett, there's going to be competitions all across the line to your right. What's your role as they kind of figure things out there at all the other spots?
I'm in a competition too, man. I'm not going to take my job lightly at all. It's new coaching staff, a new quarterback, new sheriff. Everyone's job is up for grabs. Just because I've been here for a long time doesn't mean I'm not going to compete for my job. I'm never going to take that seriously because you never know who can come in and take your job. So my mentality is still the same. Like I said, I'm in my GB zone, so when it's time to go, it's time to go. And I'm really looking forward this year. We have so many weapons that you guys already know. We were just missing a puzzle piece. Now we have a puzzle piece, and now we got to put in the work. Just because we have number 3 back there doesn't mean everything's going to come easy to us. We got to put in the work. We got to put in the time. We got to dedicate our time. We got to be focused. We got to fix the little things, little mistakes, become more disciplined. And once we do that, the sky's the limit for us.
We know you love your teammates and your quarterback like your wife. How long did it take you to fall in love with Russ?
I love Russ. Like I said, over the years, we've chatted a couple times as we played in the preseason. So, I got to understand him. And, a lot of my mentors know him or played him in that, that division. So I got to understand him a little bit. But just picking his brain, really just sitting down with him and talking with him, and, us just, about God and, just family. We both have families. We both have young kids. So I think that, we have a mutual respect there and a love for one another. But like I said, man, he's a great human being. All those things that are out there that are, negative is not who he is at all. He's just a humble person that wants to win, and he wants to win now. And I want a guy like that I can block for, a guy that's just a pure leader that just all he wants to do is play ball. It's all about family and ball, and, that just brings, happiness to me.
Where were you when you heard the news that Russ was coming, and what was your initial reaction?
I was in California, in Orange County, where I trained. Like I said, I saw, Aaron Rodgers thing, and I was like, man, it happens again. And then all of a sudden, a couple minutes later, my agent calls me, and I heard some things, and then boom, it happened. And then, when we got the call that night, he FaceTimed me. I was actually playing pickleball when he called me, FaceTimed me. Well, he sent me a message and said, hey, Russ, it's number 3. And I was like, oh, my goodness. And then he FaceTimed me, and we talked, like 10 minutes. But like I said, I was just excited. And I told him, hey, man, I know you're used to getting hit, and you're not going to get hit here. So I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, I love him dearly, and I'm just excited.
We know how much Mike Munchak meant to you guys in that offensive line room. What's just sort of been your early impression of working with Coach Barry and kind of what he'll bring to that role?
Coach Barry's, great coach. This is his first year being a full offensive line coach. But I've known him, during the draft. I think he was in Tampa when I was coming out of the draft. So I think he worked me out once or twice. So I knew him a little bit. But he's a great coach. I'm gonna miss Coach Munchak. I love him dearly. I had a great relationship with him. I think the world of him. I think he helped me in so many ways. But it's a new coach, and I have my ways, and he has his ways. So I got to get used to that. But I think we have a great relationship. Like I said, this whole coaching staff is all about love. I think that's one thing that is so good for this organization is about love. We're gonna bring that family atmosphere that we needed. It's gonna be business, but at the same time, bring our family as a part of it because when you go to work, you're providing for your family, so you might as well bring your family part of work. So I think that's really cool. I got to know, I've talked to him a couple times throughout the off season. We talked. I came in and sat down with him. We've spent a couple hours together. So everything he says, I'm really looking forward to it. This offense fits us really good, especially me. Being in the outside zone scheme. Getting out in the run and getting Javonte the ball and our playmakers and let me get out there and run. I think that fits me really well. So, like I said, I trust him. He coached Trent Williams, so he's a great top 10 tackle in the league. Be a pro Hall of Famer when he's retired. So I have to learn from that, and I'm really looking forward to the challenge.
A little bit more about some of the adjustments or the changes from the style of blocking that you guys had to make with Munchak and Shermer, and what you got now with Hackett, Elton, and Barry?
Well, Mike, I've had like 4 or 5 offensive coordinators since I've been here, so I think everything's a little bit different, but I think the terminology changes a little bit. But in 2019, or was it 19, when we had Scangarello, I believe, it's a very similar offense. So I got to be in the system for a little bit, and I love this system. I think, the end of 2019 is when I started to come alive and started to become the player I am today. So I think that just fits me really well. But like I said, I think everyone, our offensive line room is special. I think everyone we have in there can bring a different aspect to the game. We have some big ballers. We have a lot of competition as well, but I think everyone's going to push each other in a way where we're going to find the best 5, and the best 5 is going to play, and we're going to win a lot of games. But this offense, it's want to get outside. They want to get the ball to our playmakers, and we got to create the pocket up front and make sure number 3 is good. So everyone has a challenge, and I'm really looking forward to it.
When you signed your deal, Garett, you became a core player here. You talked so much about kind of restoring this franchise's glory. Does it feel like no excuses now with Russ here, like the lane's clear for this team, this group, to do what you guys have talked about?
Yeah, I don't think I've lived my life to make excuses. You all know me from when I've been here to where I'm at now. I've always taken it upon myself to get better. I know you all aroused me over the years, and I appreciate that because it's made me who I am today. I went from probably one of the most hated players here to now everybody loves me, and that's cool, man. I take pride in that because that's how my life has always been. I've never been a kid where I've just grown up and everything's pretty and the grass is green and the cows are chirping and moving and chickens, whatever. I didn't grow up like that. I grew up where I came from the mud, and I had to realize real fast who I wanted to become and who I was and what I needed to do. So I think, over the years, I've learned a lot about myself. I learned that, the way that you live your life off the field is the way you play on the field. And I think that's important for a young player to understand that you need to know who you are as a person because this league moves so fast, and you really have to focus on yourself, at the same time focus on your teammates, and, take what every person is going to have, this is what works for them. And sometimes you just have to close and find out what works for you. And when you find out yourself and the identity of yourself is when people are going to start respecting you. And I think that's what I've done. Like I said, my track being in the NFL hasn't been easy, and I take full responsibility of everything that's came my way. But at the same time, I feel very comfortable. I feel like I am becoming that leader of this team, one of the leaders of this team. We have a lot of great leaders, and I, just picking the brain from Russ and understanding what a leader is, and reading books and finding the best leaders, in sports, and just trying to find my way with them. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think I'm starting to get a voice, and I'm just really excited for this future.
Garett,
Can you pinpoint the moment or a moment where you went from the most hated to the most loved? Is there a time that just stands out to you?
Yeah, I think in 2019, sorry, you're going to make me emotional. In 2019, we played the Minnesota Vikings, and I think we had a bye week before then. So that whole bye week, I went home and power raked my entire parents' lawn and just trying to figure out what's best for me. And I was just really angry and frustrated. If you guys know me, I have to be perfect in everything I do. With having ADHD, your mind wanders all the time. And so you really have to just find out, what's going on and really settle down and do the pros and cons and what's working and what's not. So I defected my whole game. And I remember going into that game, I hired somebody that was really just focused on mental and mentally and becoming, competitive, matured, and really just playing this game, being, not erratic and just really focusing on being matured in that position. You talk about some of the greats, Joe Staley, Joe Thomas, Jonathan Ogden. You talk about all these great tackles. Trent Williams will be one of those guys. Those guys compete at a high level, but they're matured and they're calm and they're posed. And I had to learn that. And I remember going in that game, and I was blocking Everson Griffin, which is a phenomenal player, and we were going at it all game long. I think we were driving the ball with about 1:30 left, and I can't remember what we had. What quarterback do we have? Brandon Allen, I believe. We have had so many here. And so I think we were driving, and about the minute before game, the crowd was getting loud, and I think that was a moment in my life where I realized I belong in this league, I belong in that position. It was just a severe moment. I think from that game on, from all the way through 2020 to now, I think I've, made myself one of the best left tackles in football, and I just pride myself on that. And you talk about the best guys in football right now. I believe I'm one of them, and I believe I'm on the right track to be the best. And I have so many great teammates around me that love me and care for me, and I love in each one of those players, from my O-line room to the offense, to Cortland Tim, to Dalton, to Calvin, to Russ. I mean, you name all those players from defense when Shelby was here to Vaughn, to Chubb, to Chris Harris, all those guys that I grew up with in this in this Bronco nation, Bronco country. My bad, same thing. I just think all those guys have pushed me to make me who I am today, and I appreciate all those guys. Some guys were harder on me than others, but I look back and I appreciate those times because it makes me who the player I am today.
Garett, you mentioned.
Last one for Ryan, please, Garett. At the combine, Central Michigan right tackle Ryman was saying he studied your game when he was in college. When you hear that, how gratifying is it that other guys are looking up to your game?
Was that Bernard?
Yeah.
We have the same agent, so I think I've talked to him multiple times. I think he's a great player. Like I said, I want to be that example for people. I don't want people to realize, I want people to understand, hey, it doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish. And I want people, and I appreciate that, because the league can spit you out and throw you around, and it can be a whirlwind. So I think I want to be that example for people to understand, hey, you can have a rock, playing left tackle, being a tackle in the league isn't easy. But if you work at it and continue to find the right coaching and watch tape and understand film, then you can be the best. You really, truly can. It may not happen overnight as fast as the fan base or people around your organization want you to do, but if you take one day at a time and focus and reflect on the things that you need to reflect on, then you can be the best. And so I love that kid dearly. We chat every now and then, and he's going to have a bright future. Appreciate you all.